Efren, great to see you, man. Welcome to Popternative.
It is a pleasure to be able to do this interview. I've been doing
Well,
interviews all day, and I really, I find myself being fascinated by not only talking about the work, but remembering what the work does, especially in such a creative process, which is to me, it's my passion, it's my love. So.
you know what? Okay, so this is a question I was gonna wait like before kind of the icebreakers, but
Yeah.
it's perfect timing. It's almost like you knew what I was gonna ask me. I mean, so much happens before you go to camera on Seven Cemeteries, right? Like you kind of said, you're figuring out the creative process, talking to everyone. So from an acting storyteller perspective, you could see it as two journeys, right? Before filming and after filming, or do you see it as one big journey with multiple steps in between? I'm curious about that.
I think there's the setup before it's the before filming, because you really are putting stuff in your box to be able to create and go, okay, anything can happen. And of course, when you show up on the set, anything does happen.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with not only the art of storytelling, but you're doing scene work that will allow you to discover new things about where a scene can go and where it needs to go. So,
Yeah.
and you hope that the director and cinematographer, as well as the rest of the actors and myself, can follow along to best suit that in a short amount of time. Because sometimes when you're working on independent films, all you have is a measurement of time to be able to capture that scene before you move on to the next. So,
Absolutely.
and to answer the other part of the question, when you're doing it before, especially with this kind of character, I had to not only take a look at the present moment of how he deals with the situation as he's dead, but I had to look at his as my teacher would prefer, call it, the character's history, right? What's his historical facts, which are what was he like when he was alive,
Yeah.
and is he the same when he's dead? Has he changed? And now that he's back, is he different?
Yeah.
Um, and what are the new challenges that he is facing when he's dead, that are different when he was alive?
Absolutely. Does this like I love the idea too because I'm a filmmaker as well. I'm in a hotel right now because my film's adjoining is premiering at Screamfest this Saturday at Chinese theaters.
Oh, that's great, man.
So I don't have my usual kind of background, so that's why. But I'm just wondering because
Yeah.
like ever since I got into kind of filmmaking, Efren, like I just love that like journey of like reading the script and then seeing it come to life on screen. Like I love that, right? And with this, you have kind of like it's spooky season, so Seven Cemeteries is perfect for kind of the horror movie fans and everything.
Yeah.
But it's of course got like this Western component as well. So what's that like reading all those elements? Because this really is a genre bending film. Like I'm wondering, does you notice as a genre bending film when you're reading the script for it?
But when like an example, the perfect example would be Tim Burton.
Yeah.
He really takes the weird. I don't want to say weird and eccentric, but it's the oddities of human behavior
Yep.
and storytelling. He does it in such a way that allows you to look at it through another perspective. But John Gulager does that really well. I would say he's quite a combination of Tim Burton and John Landis. You
That's a
know,
great
yeah,
wow. Yeah,
yeah,
yes.
right.
Absolutely.
Because he
Oh,
knows how to shoot horror, and he gets it. And what a great way for the studios to allow and release this film during this season, the horror season. And I was pushing for that. I go, hey man, even though we know that this is an ode to Magnificent Seven, or Seven Samurai, Kurosawa, um, it is still horror. There are certain elements that I know, especially because when you're working on an independent film, you're such a tight budget, and there's only so much you can do.
yeah.
But it gives us the freedom to be able to say, "Wow, if we could make this happen, then we could also do this as well." Because even you as a director, as you know, when you're shooting, right, you're beginning to see what works in the frame line. Even in my other interviews, when I'm talking about when you're working on an anamorphic lens, for instance, or when you're working on a 50 as opposed to an 85,
Yeah.
what is different, it really changes it. And then even the tone and the theme. a good director not only knows how to those mediums, but knows how to tell the story in his own special or his or her special way that really shapes and defines his voice in making a movie. So
Oh
when
my
you see the end
God.
product, you go, "That's exactly what I had in mind," and you
And
go,
I can't wait to watch the horror movie trilogy that you direct, Efren. Like, I can't wait. Oh, like, it's gonna be great. You gotta direct. It's gonna happen one day.
"Oh man, I don't know about that."
Well, you get it. I mean, kind of shifting gears a little bit too. I do have to say, I mean,
Yeah.
this is pretty crazy. Napoleon Dynamite is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh,
Um,
cool, man.
and you know what, man? Just very seriously for a second too. It's like, tough times with bullying and everything growing up. You know what I mean? That movie was really there for me during really, really tough times. So I just wanted to say, man, thank you. Seriously,
Oh man,
because that
thanks.
movie was like, that movie means a lot to me. And it means a lot to a lot of people, but specifically, it was just amazing. Like, I just wanted to say that quickly.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And it's interesting too because it's all storytelling, right? But like, does the mindset kind of change preparation wise? Whether it's something like this, Employee of the Month, that's also a good one too.
you know,
And yeah,
yeah, it's just to interject for a little bit is I did a special guest star on FBI Most Wanted, and um and I played a Colombian drug lord. So and I normally don't play roles like that, and I thought, well, let me read the script and let me have a meeting with the studios. And so, from the higher ups all the way to Dick Wolf, I had to get approval for everything that I did, and which is great because they really welcomed the creative process that I was offering. And I remember having to approach the director and I said, "Hey, I want to play my character like Richard the Third." And they're like, "What?" So it throughout the years, even after Napoleon Dynamite, is being able to trust not only shaping the story, but the studios that they would give me the freedom to be able to say, "Hey, I understand the medium by which the laws that you're creating the story, whether it's a TV show or feature film, and this is what I can offer, and this is what we can explore together."
yeah,
Yeah, by doing so, then you really honor horror in such a way where you could add little accents, in this case with Gulager, comedy, as well as the Western aspect and the Texas feel with the borders between Mexico and United
yeah.
States. You get a feel for everything, because because you have Gulager's sarcasm as well. It's being able to say, "Hey, this is the story I'm telling, and I'm going to tell it this way," and it works. Along with Danny Trejo and all the rest of the cast,
Yeah.
it just works. And I thought, like, wow, this is. I'm really lucky to be a part of this as
But
well.
it's kind of like there's also it's funny you mentioned that too about like the comedic aspect of things and the conversations between characters. I mean, one of the reasons why I think the horror movie world is becoming bigger and bigger is because there's different ways to scare people now. Like people are scary. You're not just kind of
Yeah.
relying on the gore and the slasher. Like it's like, why did he say that to that person? Why is he smiling? And
Uh,
why is he find it funny? Like it's the uncomfortable, that aspect of the creepy. Do you know what I mean by that? It's interesting. And I feel like this movie is a good example of that.
yeah, I worked 2 years prior. I did a film called Satanic Hispanics, directed by
Yes.
the great Mike Mendez.
Yep.
And I came on board because I was excited to be a part of an anthology, and I was able to work right along with Mike to be able to work page at page through the dialogue and the script and my character, the traveler, and say, "All right, there should be a sense of humor here. There's got to be a strong sense of point of view and a learning lesson that and values that this specific character has." And
Yep.
and now that I'm able to do that a lot more often, I want to be able to do that with all my work now,
Yep.
and say, let's push it even further, and
Yep.
not just and not allow to generalize the character per se from a generalized script. You want to really tie things in so that people, the audience, not only are entertained, but there's a learning lesson to be involved. If they could be entertained and informed, then we've done our jobs as artists.
That's the best, right? Edutainment, right? I'm a big edutainment guy, right? Like that's the best. And I can't wait for people to check out the film Seven Cemeteries. You're so great in it. October 11th, they're gonna have a chance to see it. Efren, it was an honor and privilege to speak with you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh no, thank you, man. Thank you. What a beautiful interview. Thank you.
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.